Hello everybody, it looks like we have another Atlas patch. Today is the release of the Majestic Kraken, the newest modular ship, so we're going to go over that today. Ahoy Pathfinders, a new ship will be sailing into harbor with the new patch. The Majestic Kraken will be available from the ship's salesman. It's a streamlined vessel that not only looks deadly, but packs quite the punch if she gets her tentacles on you. That's because she's touting 24 cannons that provide 50% more damage. The Kraken will be similar to the previous ramming galley, with custom ship compartment loadouts and repairable via the patch kit, so gather up your doubloons and release the rest. In other highlights of the patch, along with a few more bug fixes, we've also taken another pass at the glider suit, so you can sail the skies for a reasonable amount of time. You get a blueprint, you get a blueprint, you get a blueprint. You guessed it. Blueprint drops will be doubling and counts required are going down, so go get your craft on. Lastly, accordion music will wake creatures up faster after being tranquilized. Later hosen and polka dancing are not required, but it couldn't hurt. Alright, so basically we're getting a new ship. The gliders have been looked at again, and accordion music will wake creatures up faster after being tranquilized. That's kind of an interesting workaround, for the taming system with the darts putting the animals to sleep and then you not being able to feed them, and yeah. We'll see how that works. So here's a bit about the community surveys. Last patch, we asked our fellow Pathfinders to take part in a community survey that would help the Atlas team gain better insight on the wants and needs of our community. Needless to say, we were overwhelmed by your participation and feedback, and we'll be taking a lot of it into consideration. We would like to genuinely thank all who participated. To continue this series of engagement, we will have another community survey in the near future. This one will address recent concerns around ship construction and customization. We look forward to hearing more of your input and appreciate your support. This is great news that we're going to be getting a survey based around ship construction and customization. I'm really hoping they'll listen to what we have to say, because I have a feeling it's going to be a very overwhelming opinion about keeping the old ship customization, or maybe we're going to learn a little bit about what they're planning to do with the modules. So here are the actual patch notes. The new ship is out, the Majestic Kraken. The ship's salesman inventory is expanding. His latest offering, the Majestic Kraken, features 2 rows of gun ports armed with 150% damage cannons. The cost is 22,000 gold and 75 dried squid tentacles. Okay, 75 dried squid tentacles is going to take a while. And of course, the repair resource is the patch kit. Playing the accordion in free play mode quickly reduces the torpidity of nearby wild creatures, allowing them to wake up much faster after being tranquilized. The radius of effect can be increased by unlocking the inspiring music skills in the music and dance tree. Armored docks. Quality blueprint for small and large armored docks have been added to loot drops. These have 2 stats, durability, total health, and effectiveness. Damage resistance. Decrease the stack size from 100 to 1. Increase the drop rate of blueprints and double across all sources. Blueprints for sails, cannons, planks, decks, and gun ports now have much lower craft counts. Updated how quality is derived on cannons. Quality is determined primarily based on damage percent. Durability contributes to quality at a much lower ratio. Stat values rolled are unchanged. Glider suit added a stamina drain debuff. Max pitch is now limited by stamina. At low stamina, the glider can only go down. Camera angle has been altered downward, and the bug fix is that the dive functionality via the run button has now been fully removed. On to harvesting. Stone harvesting nodes in the remaining regions have been rebalanced to match the copper regions changed last patch. Iron is the most common metal now and may be found in rocks. Other metals are no longer found in stone, but may still be mined from metal nodes. So iron is going to be what we're finding everywhere. Got it. Geodes may now drop from rock in all areas. Using a geode will destroy it and may give some limestone, rock salt, and or a small amount of different gems and crystals. Geodes may be gathered by hand or with tames, not with quarries or farmhouses. Okay, that's really interesting. I thought that they were going to end up adding regional geodes to all of the different regions, biomes, all that. So that's interesting that they did add that. Ships. Patch kit repair time reduced from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. Projectiles fired from cannons and gun ports no longer explode if they hit the water surface immediately after firing. Enlarged gun ports on the upper level of the ramming galley's front castle to prevent clipping. Tames and creatures. Added enable/disable breeding option to tame command wheel. Breeding must be enabled to allow creatures to mate. Wandering is no longer required for mating. That's awesome, to be completely honest. Wandering was a pain in the backside. Following must still be disabled for mating. Unconscious or dead horses and bears can now be dragged. Trade. Increased the warehouse inventory cap to 120 stacks. Trades of the same resource may no longer occur. Example, iron for iron. Miscellaneous. Trank arrow torpor damage increased by 50%. This is good news. Sea fort walls no longer give resources when demolished. Updated the drop tables of a few sea creatures to give more stuff. And known issues. Cannon wheels clip through the floor on Majestic Kraken's lowermost deck. Painting has not been implemented for the ramming galley and Majestic Kraken, and attempting to do so will result in some cosmetic errors. And those are the patch notes for this week. I have had a chance to play around with the new ship in single player, and it seems like it's trying to replace the brig almost. It's really weird though. It's built oddly. The masts from the sails don't actually go through the floor. They stop on the first deck. The bottom two decks are full of cannons, and of course we can only have 14 crew members on it, and there are double the amount of cannons. So it's, it's just one of those awkward kind of situations. The top deck ends up completely empty because there's nothing you can put up there. You can put lanterns on certain parts of the ship so that you can at least light it up. The modules are interesting. There's like rear cannons, there's the decks. The decks are actually split into 3, and this is kind of an interesting fact because they almost have the same amount of structures as your default brig would have if it did have the regular stuff that you would add on it for PvP. So I'm kind of wondering what the optimization game is here if you have almost the same amount of structures with each ship. I also ended up having a lot of trouble getting up and down the staircases because my character is a full height character and not one of the little characters that people play in Atlas, and I had a ton of trouble getting up and down the stairs. I actually lost this ship to it at one point when I was battling Ship of the Damned because I couldn't get down the stairs to repair the leak because I was too tall and I didn't crouch in time, I guess. So that is an issue that I think should probably be rectified, or else they should just tell us that we shouldn't make max height characters anymore, which is just silly. I'm still not a fan of the prefab ships, but I really don't think I'm going to get a full view of how effective or not effective these ships are until I can get into the official PvE whenever that wipe is. I'm not wanting to start over until that wipe happens because I want to only have to do this thing once and not have to deal with starting and then going through a wipe again, if that makes any sense. I still 110% prefer the old ship models. You can do so much more with them, and I think if they want us to play with these prefabs and actually be happy with it, they have to at least make them somewhat comparable, and to me, I just don't feel like I have the freedom to do that right now. That's my opinion. I know you all have yours, but that is just my opinion, and I just feel like it's just not the same, and it probably is never going to be. We've been spoiled by it, and it sucks to have stuff like that taken away. And yes, we are going to have that taken away because Conch, the community manager on the official Discord, did say that the developers are planning to replace our granular shipbuilding, aka piece by piece, with this modular ship system. The good news is the rest of these patch notes seem really solid, and they seem like a step in the right direction. Disregarding the prefab stuff and all of that, everything else seems pretty good. So I want to hear what you all have to think. Let me know in the comments down below what your opinion on the prefab ship is, as well as the patch notes that we just got a hold of. So that was my patch note rundown. I hope that was helpful to you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you want more Atlas news and gameplay. As always, the links to my socials are in the description box down below. I hope you all are enjoying your games, particularly if you are playing Atlas, and I will see you all in the next video.